Give me 1 second. I'm going to put all this stuff on live. Chef C. Hello, everybody. We had technical stuff that's been kicking us in the ass for the last 40 minutes, but we're going to get through it, aren't we? Mm-hmm. Live. Go live. Okay, I believe we're live, Chef C. Who you gonna call? Coon Busters, MFM, everybody. Angry Black Men's Book Club. We are live, and Chef C, are you ready to do your stuff? Because I am in motion. I have Mrs. Quiet Scales and one person over here. Hi, whoever that is. I can't see it. And there's someone over here. So hello, everybody. Happy New Year to all of you. Welcome to my office. Hello, everybody. Greetings to everybody. Happy New Year. Are you ready to run, Chef C?
Yes, sir. Let me do my thing now like I always do, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Here we go. Y'all know what time it is. Let him cook. Let him cook now. Let him cook. I said let him cook. But he was the chef up north. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for Pat Talk. We're tapping into the Angry Black Man's Book Club with Dr. Randy Short for Pat Talk.
Yes,
number
sir.
5, ladies and gentlemen. And I gotta tell you, first and foremost, if you're on this side, on their next podcast, tapping in with the Angry Black Man's Book Club. And of course, any programming on this side is always brought to you by Bloodline Films. From the Soil, Black American docuseries, where we travel all around the country, waking up history, culture, and of course, the Black American grassroots advocates on their way in pursuit to reparative justice. Tonight's broadcast, ladies and gentlemen, this one, we've really been following the numbers here. We've really been following and tracking it down, and I got to tell you, it's been a lot of conversations behind the scenes. And, our brother, last time we checked in, he did the work for us. He went out there and he endured the trauma of watching that film all alone. So now we just checked the numbers, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Randy Short, and we're back here to give you an update on those numbers, along with Epstein's alleged preview of that list, ladies and gentlemen. And then, of course, we got to talk about your girl, Claudine Gay.
You mean Fraudine Gay.
Right. Brother Dr. Randy Short says, another pork chop down.
Pork chop down. Seriously.
Okay. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back after this commercial. This is On the Next Podcast, checking in with the Angry Black Man's Book Club for Pat Talk number 5.
Hello, Sister Nikki. Hello, Brother Mark. Hello, Brother Judah. All the people I see out here. We are going to go in tonight. I've been all over the world. I've noticed this about Black Americans, and I'll stop here. We have more people trying to turn us around than I've seen from any other group anywhere in the world relative to what our situation is. That you got teachers, you got people that will just do something. They find out you're legit, just help you because they want to see black folks make it. We do have this. This is lacking in other places, I can assure you. But you know what? Our desire to save people cannot be greater than people's desire to be saved and to help. So the people that do not want it, let them go. Jesus said, let the dead bury the dead. I sure get it nowadays.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. And this is a good one for y'all today. I know many of you have been checking those numbers like your life depend on it. And I tell you, it looks like that color SLURPLE took a nice dive.
Sort of like TD Jakes takes dives. Hey, Shabaka Sankor, yeah. They took a dive. If they ever really had it, you know, it's look, I'm an Orthodox Black nationalist Christian. Christmas isn't of any significance to me, but for the people who celebrate the bullshit, the people who celebrate white Luciferianism, it's supposedly in its cleaned up state, not with the old Yule log where they burnt up people and raped folks. Christmas is supposed to be a time of family and love. Why do we have to have a movie with black men and black women hating each other and folks being gay? And actually, Celia in the play is omnisexual. She's screwing a man and she's screwing Suge. And then Suge dumps her. But they make it seem as if her and Suge are tight for forever. So in reality, Celia ends up never really having any damn body. Ladies, hint, 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 broads. These folks are playing with you. They're playing with you. So we're supposed to have a holiday of family and love and toys and shit. And you got this homoerotic brother always saying ho, coming in people's houses trying to be around their kids and shit. I mean, the whole Santa Claus shit is complete pedophilia and predatory shit. I mean, I just can't get with it. And the deers and the horns all represent sexuality. If you know anything about people eating animal horns and such, I mean, the whole thing is nasty. But anyway, in the commercialized Madison Avenue, Wall Street manufactured Christmas, it's supposed to be about family and love and togetherness. And we get a movie where the big song is Hell No and the black woman getting beat to the floor. I mean, I was like so disgusted by that because I'm like, God, I mean, can't we like have any love for each other, as a people, damn, it's like, give me a break. So you get this movie and here you have it. You just and people aren't feeling it. And you've got a musical. You got Willy Wonka. You got a white dude with stolen chocolate from Africa, and that's some predator shit too. You got this single ass billionaire, trying to get kids to come over to his house, and the Epstein shit is out. I'm just saying, that's why I don't hang around people. They'll get upset. You're so critical. But you got Willy Wonka. That's a kids movie with parents and folks and people who don't read to their kids can like go to the movies and feel like they did something. What you really need to do is get the damn gay shit out the kids' libraries at the school you're sending their asses to.
Come on with that. Come on.
And in the midst of all this family and celebration, you got black women getting beat and taken to jail and being left alone. Her man who could tackle her booty but wouldn't visit her in jail. And sit down and think about this, how that shit doesn't make any sense. That you have a black dude who's raising 5 kids with a woman married to 2 men at the same time, right? Harpo, and whatever. This nigga's name is Buster, whatever, the boxer that's with Sophia. They're 5 kids, and she's in jail, and he doesn't visit the mother of his kids, and it's only Celie. I mean, just the whole whoever did this shit was whacked from the very get go. Most people have never read The Color Purple. It's a piece of shit. It should have never gotten an award for anything except for Alice Walker's Hatred of Black Men. I mean, she should get up with King Leopold, Hitler, Thomas Jefferson. There are a lot of people, bitch, that are ahead of you, Alice Walker. And they like white men too. Had them before you was born. So this film, they throw in some nice, it's like Pearly Victorious or some trombones to glory, or some you put music amidst black trauma. And I guess because there's some dance numbers and shit, it's supposed to be interesting. The shit was boring. It was boring. It hates black men. It made black kids look like pickaninnies. There were no lovable black kids in the film. None. So not only are black men, you can't love them, but you can't love what their cum turns into, which is people who are probably going to be sexist and hate women too. They lied. The whole thing about Celie making pants was for women to be like men. It wasn't her finding herself and developing a way to make money. It was a way to encourage women to get away from men. And I think people kind of sick of this shit. People are really sick of feminism.
Right.
I mean, I fucking hate it. And I'm aggressive. We men have been silent about this shit for a long time. A lot of black men haven't said stuff about how we feel. When you deal with a white Karen who just, attacks the Amazon people, attacks the mailman, these oppressed women are very aggressive. You can't barbecue. You can't do this. I'm going to call white men to kill you if you keep trying to barbecue with your family. And these are the allies of bitches like Oprah Winfrey. I called her a bitch. And now she looks like an ant. And we don't care. In fact, Chef, should we? I feel like doing some music. Should I do some music?
Hold on, brother Short. I know you had the debut of your remix from a classic. I know.
No, we don't have to do that. Look, let's just talk about this. Let's stay on point. We're gonna stay on point. We're not gonna be like.
Hold on, brother Short. You don't want to give him the debut of your.
No. I'm not gonna do that. Hold on 1 second. We're not gonna do that. But let me just say this to you, so we can all understand each other. What's going on is a group of very wealthy GCPs in Hollywood to give black people the finger in America as the GCPs are doing genocide on the Palestinians. The way you destroy them is with bombs and with tanks. In America, the way you destroy people is with culture. In fact, the German term is Kulturkampf, culture struggle, or Kulturkrieg, culture war. We're being attacked by the GCP. And the GCP gave Oprah Winfrey, most of whose films have bombed. The only money-making thing that Oprah Winfrey has made was the initial Color Purple with Spielberg. Spielberg is a GCP. And if you go and see the goddamn Color Slurple, at the very end of the film, it's very black, and you see all these black faces, and so all the little black studs and lesbians and feminists and faggotists and simps who want to make this shit positive. Niggas can make getting hung by the Klan positive. Well, man, I'm gonna be just like Emmett Till when they hang me from this tree. We're so disgusting that we need to be famous and status given. It's ridiculous. But anyway, you see all these black people at the beginning of the cover SLURPLE. But when you get to the end, after all the niggas hold hands and white in the voodoo circle, the name Steven Spielberg comes up. Now, they told you about that gay African motherfucker who's only been shooting music videos. You mean you gonna let an African motherfucker who's never made a major film, not one, Liar Fairy down in Atlanta? That's what I call them. Or Medea's male alter ego. When he was making one film after the other that made money, the most that these GCPs would give Tyler Perry to make a film, tell me if I'm wrong, Chef, is $7 million. Maybe 8 to 10, no more. That's after Tyler Perry has generated over $1 billion in ticket sales. $7 million, $10 million. Oprah, who has not moved $1 billion worth of film stuff, just saying, they gave her $100 million. Why? Let me just remind you, the ambassador from Israel said what? The greatest threat to Israel are young black people. That's what she said. The greatest threat to Israel is young black Americans. We're the threat to their existence, wherever that came from. And as the grandson of Robert Israel and the grandson of Marie Sellers, I will tell anyone I got enough Ashkenaz, Sephardic, and Miss Rahe Jew. I'm as much a Jew as that bastard that's waging this war in Gaza. I'm trying to figure out in my life what group of black folk are a threat to anybody but themselves. So if we're a threat to the GCPs, says they, what ways will they address our threat to them? Well, the same thing that would be done in a different modality with the Palestinians: population control. In America, you don't need concertina wire, barbed wire fences, and all that like what you need in Gaza. If you can just fuck with the average silly black woman and dumb fuck pussy begging black man's head, and it's a wrap. And that's what this film is about. I need to also say to you, y'all can look this shit up. There's a group called JUNTA. JUNTA. JUNTA stands for Jewish Institute for National Security Affairs.
Go ahead. Yep.
All of your police departments, in particular in urban areas in which we live, the chiefs of police and such are trained and get free trips to Israel to model how we're handled based on how the Palestinians are treated. So there's a dimension of our oppression as a collective that comes straight from Israel. And there's a JUNTA office in every single solitary major county, city, and state in America. So when the police choke people to death and do all this other kind of stuff, a lot of it is learned in Israel. And the way this works on both sides, why you can't get an anti-black crime bill, even though there's already one on the books and Negroes won't push for it to be enforced. It's called the Ku Klux Klan Acts or the Enforcement Acts of 1870, 1871. They were used to crush white supremacists that killed just one Jew in Charlottesville. And yet thousands of blacks are killed, and none of your bitch type black lawyers, male or female, are demanding that the Ku Klux Klan acts be used to attack white racial terrorists who murder us. The laws are already on the book. They were used in 2018 to lock up people all over the country. And your sorry ass black lawyers, in fact, I want to say to you, I'm so happy to see a lot of black professionals get fired, the kind that are too good to do any service to their community, because nobody needs them because they're not useful to their people. But let me get back to my point. With JUNTA, that's the naked police state type stuff that you're seeing happen to you in your cities and towns across America. The other way, the soft power, is to pit men and women against each other. How many of you know that the main crazy, radical, lesbian feminist in America, if they're not WASP, they're GCPs? And who are their biggest suckers? I don't care how you take it. The dumbest ass women in America are the black boomer females and the Xer females. Yeah, you guys are dumb as fuck. You're stupid as shit. You're not a queen if you're a feminist. You can only be a bitch if you're a feminist. You can be a queen if you're a big mama. You're a queen if you're a warrior sister or wazi. You're a queen if you're a wife, a mother, a sister, a colleague, a female Black Panther. You're a queen if you're in the trenches with us. You're a bitch enemy combatant if you are not for your people. If you're a feminist in any type, you are a sick individual. If you're a man and you're pro-feminist, you are sick. And a lot of the men that you will meet that are feminists are tethers, are foreigners who talk that shit to be cool when they come to America or England, but where they come back from, in fact, for all the sisters that are just obsessed with West African men, and I'm not saying West African men aren't appealing, I'm not making that case. I can tell you something. If you've ever needed to get a passport, if you ever go to a passport office, you may wonder why there are babies in the passport office. If you ever go to get a passport and you see babies in there crying because it's a long process to get your passport, especially if you need to expedite, the reason that they have babies at the passport office is because, and this is one of the things, that's why I'm very aggressive with lying. A lot of black women are big, loudmouth liars. And it's black men's fault. They figure if they never talk about lies, they'll get more pussy. That's not working out, which is why you have a passport brother movement. I'm trying to split the difference so you can get it at home or abroad. The reason that you have babies at the passport office is for all these liar black women that tell you black American men that every other group of men is better than you in relationship. When these African men marry black American women, up until they changed it, these folks, if they had a fight with their American black wife, they simply took the children to Africa. It's not like here where the black man pays his child support and the woman doesn't allow him to see the kids. Black American women are so fucking spoiled and stupid. They have no idea how free they are, how equalitarian black men are overall in America, nowhere else. They're so stupid because people like Alice Walker and Toni Morrison and Oprah Winfrey and others, and her Gayle King, until they don't have any common sense when it comes down to figuring out human relations. So, like I'm saying, the passport issue is that when these men didn't completely like the way the women act, they just took the kids and split. You'll never see a black woman on the news or do a book or a movie about the children being taken or her finding out she's the fifth or sixth wife. It never comes up. There's no movie about white men killing their black wives or abandoning them or beating them or cheating them, like what happened with Dorothy Dandridge. You never see that. And Halle Berry's story will show her probably getting her ear damaged by the black dude hitting her, but not the white men that she paid alimony to that cheated her. Because
Come on.
there is a systematic effort. And I'm sorry, women, you guys are not very rational and understanding racism. You're very emotional. And therefore, they figured this shit out. And so, therefore, they're willing to put $100 million on the table to fuck up the black family and the black race. And they know that they can repeat that image. It'll become a thing. It'll become women's empowerment. Like killing babies is women's empowerment, getting a divorce is women's empowerment, getting your breast cut off. There's a lot of suicidal shit that's women's empowerment. And the black men who simply want some pussy, some food, and a family will put up with almost anything to try to have a family, up until the coming of Kevin Samuels, peace be upon him, a moment of silence. When our great teacher came, black men were liberated from the spell of trying to accommodate pork chop feminism, which is why Kevin Samuels will let me give peace again. Truth on that, brother. We were liberated from the toxic, weaponized pork chop feminism that racists had put into our women, where there's some legitimate issues of how some women do get beat, get raped, victims of men. All this we in Pat Talk agree with. We want women treated properly with respect. However, with some rules. Alongside women's rights has to come women's rules. But when you have a community that's in complete disarray, it's very difficult to have what's called equilibrium or balance. And so they put $100 million on the table for a film that they knew was likely to bomb. That's what they wanted. But they figured they'll get it in proceeds later if they can put these negatives to reboot this radical man-hating lesbo feminist thing, to make black men and black women fight, just as some of us are beginning to figure out that the two-party system isn't doing anything for us. We're being overrun by illegals. The degenerates have hijacked everything. If you look at this sorry ass Take Dicks Jakes, you look at Shitty, I mean the music, everything, we're being overwhelmed by corruption and degeneracy. Some of us are getting tired of it, black men and black women coming together. Then they begin to bombard us with new things to set off a fight. I was there when The Color Purple opened back in 1985. And I was there this year, or I'm sorry, a Christmas Day when it opened this year. And the dynamic is the same. The smugness that you can feel of the women feeling our men ain't shit. I'm glad I know you could see how that thing has become a cancerous growth. That's why they gave Oprah Winfrey $100 million when they know that the musicals fail. What's his name? Spielberg's West Side Story bombed. Musicals don't necessarily make money. And when they do make money, like Dreamgirls did, they were jealous of Dreamgirls. It made black women look pretty, elegant, overcoming, and it wasn't all beating and abuse. There's some, but not like continuous, slapping women around, killing them. But You don't hear about dream girls, and and so the women look nice, dress nice. There were men that wanted them because there's some fine ass women in the movie Dreams Girls. I saw that shit 3 times. Um, Instead, you give us a film of women in wrinkled clothes. There is a scene where the black women are in wrinkled clothes, saying "hell no." Well, what, hell no to an iron or hell no to a man? My grandmother worked as a domestic. I remember my grandmother with her white thing. My grandmother was her shit was starched. It was down. You didn't have people raggedy like black women weren't raggedy 40 years ago. Black women weren't raggedy like this movie portrayed them as raggedy. Uh-uh. You see black women with their hats on Sunday. I can remember, I think it's April 9th. I think it's April 9th, 1969. I think that was Easter Sunday, or it's close to it. Even with the riots in DC, with the police with bayonets and machine guns and half tracks and tanks, black women were dressed to the nines, mourning Dr. King, with riots, with buildings on fire. And when they came time to get to church, black women was hooked from their shoes to their hair to their hats before all this feminism. And people respected black women more then. There's less respect, and see, people need to understand the women's movement, the feminist movement is about destroying womanhood, Judith Butler, and the whole idea of gender is to destroy womanhood, to destroy manhood, to destroy the family, to destroy men in particular, and to basically make children available for adults to have sex with them. Evidence of that is for all of you loudmouth women out there. There is no movement to protect children from pedophilia. It's actually mothers that take their children to have drag queens touch, lay on, read to, and get engaged with their children. It's not a male thing. This is you women's fucked up stuff. You ladies have really fucked this up. This Tyler Perry drag queen who got him in the church fucked up black church women. It's not black men. As bad as Oprah and them want to make black men to be. This crazy shit, these people are targeting the weakness in the female psychology to use that against the whole people. And actually, they know that most men will protect women, even when the woman's wrong because they're female, even though their culture is more gay than ours could ever be, which is why they're trying to homosexualize us out of existence. Yes, they are. So they're using this on us. And this is why they gave them $100 million to promote female homosexuality in the community, because it hasn't quite caught on with black women yet. But for white females, getting their breast cut off has gone up like 50,000%, where these girls have mutilated themselves and they're not going to have children. They're trying to get this to take off in our community. We got studs in abundance, but studs that might have kids, studs that may keep their breasts, studs that may switch back to men at some point, realize that, a dick is a good paying job. When you have a pussy with another person with a pussy, it's free. Same thing applies with the man. Mess with the man. Dick is free. Ass is free if it's a man. That you have to pay for ass. When you're getting the right stuff, it costs. When you're getting the cheap stuff, they'll give it to you. I don't know personally, but it's an observation. So back to my point. They put $100 million to reignite and a key period. After COVID, the economy's in trouble. Black Lives Matter failed to hijack us, and a range of other things that they had planned that failed. What can we do to jam up black people? Keep the two forces that they want separated, or divide the two forces that they can't control and united. I'm not talking about Republicans and Democrats. I'm not talking about left and right. I'm talking about when black men and black women work together as a team, we're unstoppable. Proof of that is the American Civil War, which we won. A motherfuck Robert E. Lee, who's supposedly related to me, by the way. I mean, so what? Okay, there are a lot of people we're related to we don't like. The civil rights struggle, black men and black women work together. Black power is black men and black women together. When we're together, no matter what they do, who they kill, who they lock up, who they bomb, we make it. And in particular, if you put God in the mix, that's the other thing that the feminist movement brings in: Luciferianism. Abortion is a form of satanic sacrifice. They told you hoes it's health care. No, you're giving a dead child to the devil to give him more power. And by the way, when you see all this murder and this lack of value for life in our community, it's linked to sacrificing babies to demonic spirits that you're being told is health care. You're dumbasses. And you're sorry ass man if you think your legacy being butchered is a way to skirt your responsibility as being a man. If you're a have a dick will travel brother, then you need to be responsible when someone gets pregnant. And it's not a curse, it's a blessing. The curse is that you're the damn father, not that the baby came. There are a whole lot of folks that wish they could bust a nut. There are a whole lot of people that wish they were fertile. There are people out here stealing babies. They've had to increase security in the hospitals for all the women that got pelvic inflammatory disease and had tubal pregnancies from getting their fallopian tubes scraped up, getting abortions or all this other stuff. Now you got folks stealing, wishing they could have kids, going to other countries stealing babies. And we're not producing enough and have an attitude towards the one we have. We need to be adopting kids. So let me just say this to you. $100 million was put on the table. They got all these stars, and Oprah Winfrey, who has become basically a symbol to deluded black women. That's about 50% of y'all dumb as fuck. I don't know what to do about it. And I don't even worry anymore. But Oprah Winfrey, and she got all these stars. She's going to do one more. It's like a football game. And she had this one bomb pass to put out this sorry ass movie, and also have an African producer so you can get African folks to be lesbians and gays and shit too. Because Oprah's a dirty bitch.
Come on with it. Come with that.
Oprah's a dirty bitch. I said it. Fuck Oprah. Actually, don't fuck her. And that's Stedman too. Maybe he's lucky to be gay. Can you imagine if Oprah were really your wife?
Before you go too far, listen. Let's not glance over the fact that yes, she had the African producer in this remake, but she's also
he's a gay African producer.
She also has the quote unquote school in Africa. Why you ain't got a school over here, Oprah?
Well, Oprah.
Oprah's a part of that whole. She's a part of that Obama.
Yeah, well, she gave us Ofaga, but let's understand that Oprah Winfrey, the same way that her Harpo and OWN had mainly white lesbian women with all the jobs. At her school in Africa, my understanding is it's primarily white women that she hired who raped black females. And all you black women see her as a great person. I guess I should set up a school and let white men rape black females. If I was a billionaire, would I be a hero? This is what I mean about black women being fucked in the head and having this stupid ass double standard in our community. If I have a vagina, I don't have to have a standard because, me having a pussy that everybody wants means that, I don't have to be about anything. You lucky if you get some, right? And that's ridiculous. first and foremost, we shouldn't be commodifying each other. We should be dealing with each other as human beings instead of what's in our pants. What should matter is what's in your damn heart, what's in your mind, what's in your soul. What can you do? What are you about? I mean, we were born as a male. You're born with a dick. I mean, hope is big. Hope it's not too big because some ladies don't want too big. If it's too small, you're like Shaq. I mean, the superhead put his ass out there. I mean, I hate to be that big and have something that small. I mean, because can you imagine being Shaq, drop your pants? Once that's Shaq Stumpy, not that I worry so much. Shoot, I bet better superhead. I don't want to be bothered with it, but we they're messing with us because we're not being real.
Hey, brother Short, I gotta say,
No, but just
I
let me
got a
just.
substitute for you. I got something for you. You told me imagine you said imagine being Shaq, that size and being being a little stumpy, a little.
Him being a Watusi in basketball and a pygmy in bed.
Well, guess what, sir? Guess what? I have something for you, sir.
Not a picture of. Yeah, I don't want to see it.
Well, I think I got the next greatest thing, and
what Superhead's book?
A quote unquote next greatest thing. So hold on, let me share the screen here, brother.
Do I want to see this?
Ladies and gentlemen, oh shit. Oh man, let me make sure I got it on the screen here for this brother. Yes. Look at here.
Oh, that's TD Jakes' wife.
Look at
that looks like TD Jakes' wife. Get a picture of TD Jakes' wife. That looks just like TD Jakes' wife.
Look at here.
No. TD Jakes' wife.
Look at here.
Hold it. That looks like TD Jakes' wife. Can you show that to your audience? I know who it is, but he looks like TD Jakes' wife with the long hair.
Hold on, let me find.
He's got a picture of Charles Barkley dressed up like a woman. When Charles Barkley has that long wig on, he looks just like TD Jakes' wife.
Ladies and gentlemen, oh God, these.
Put it up. I didn't lie. I mean, I'm not lying. I mean, look, I'm a preacher's kid. I could tell the pastor have like a homely wife, so he's cheating. No wonder he wants the church that big so he can hide.
Here we go.
If a church is too small and folk get pregnant and all the babies look alike, he gets busted.
Hold on, let me let me crop this out. Yeah.
Doesn't I told you the other day that Charles Barkley looked like a TD Jakes' wife.
Let's do this now. We're going to add some of
you guys still think the Weight Watchers is just
what the hell
for women. Even though Sir Charles.
What the? Jeez. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm glad I have my cat here to protect me.
Hold the hell on, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. TD Jakes' wife.
She does look like Charles Barkley.
That is crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, here you have it. Oh, shit.
She does look like Charles Barkley.
Now, let's get you that clip. Let's get you this clip here.
I've been telling you the Weight Watchers.
Oh, hell no.
Help me lose 42 pounds and counting. And I can.
You know what? Weight Watchers didn't help him lose the bullshit that's inside of him. I just want to say this. I was asked about Cat Williams. I saw a piece of it. I want to say this of Cat Williams. I saw some of it. Overall, I like Cat Williams. I just don't care about black entertainment or celebrities that much. I really don't. And I have a cousin. One of my cousins, has pictures. And supposedly a distant cousin is by the name of Steve Harvey. I've never met him. I'm not a big Steve Harvey fan. I don't care. We care way too much about black celebrities and black athletes and too little about our empowerment, our survival, future generations, money, being armed, owning land, real shit. Not these black fools that are in the pay of people who are making filth and smut like the cover Slurple. And that's what I'm saying. This $100 million, these people want to get this money back. They gave Oprah this $100 million and they expect to get it back. And they want to get it back so badly. They want to insult and divide and hurt us, but they want to get their money back. And the cover Slurple's not doing it for them, people.
Well, look at here, brother Doctor.
We're still, hold on. Let me say one more thing, and I'll shut up. The color purple has the Warner Brothers. I think I sent you the article, Chef. See, Warner Brothers lied about the earnings by over $3.3 million that they said that the film took in to build it up, because the color purple went into limited release nationwide on the 9th of December. They told you that it wasn't showing anywhere. But if you were looking at Fandango and other things online, the color purple was shown across the country in various places prior to Christmas Day. And they took all of the money from all these theaters and special showings and counted that towards the opening day of the color purple, that they said was $18,150,000. So they say. And there's something else. The color purple it's interesting. Oprah Winfrey is somehow linked to John of God in Brazil that was raping women and selling the babies and cutting the organs and such out. And he's in jail for 100 years in Brazil. That the film, The Sound of Freedom, that talked about pedophilia and human trafficking, which people like Oprah would never, ever acknowledge because they're on the other side. They're enemies to ending human trafficking and so forth. Used the same technique of the Sound of Freedom film that had a teeny tiny budget that all of Hollywood fought its production. Same people that gave Oprah money to make the cover Slurple did everything they could to stop the film Sound of Freedom. But those same GCPs at Warner Brothers took the whole block selling of tickets that they saw happen for this Mormon film and applied it to the color purple to try to make certain that it was a sleeper success, and the shit is failing. It's failing because smart people like you, Nikki Rose, smart people like you, Marcia, smart people didn't go for the bullshit. And people don't like musicals anyway. And I want to say this to you, the music is largely forgettable. I sat through the whole film. There's not one song that I left the theater humming. And it'll be 10 days tomorrow. I saw it on Christmas Day, 9 days ago. I can remember the Hell No song, and I can remember I Am Beautiful, Fantasia singing that. But I can tell you, I haven't seen Dreamgirls since that shit came out. And I can remember the song Jennifer Hudson sang, I Never Met a Man Like You. And I remember coming out of Dreamgirls, never met a man just like you. Do what he can to make my dreams come true, right? And Jennifer Hudson, she played the hell out of that role. Okay. And she sang her ass off. I felt good for a whole week. All that good music for the sisters singing, right? I don't feel any of that after seeing The Color Purple. And they did something very interesting, is that they interconnected the music with the violence, almost as if they use the music as a build up to the violence. So, you bust a bitch in the face, then there's a musical. I'm thinking, that's weird. You don't even get to take in the drama of a man striking a woman. And then you have this dancing, everybody's happy. Like black folks, do the electric slide after there's a police slaying. It makes us very, very trite and stupid. But anyway, they lied about this money because their whole plan to incite hate and have a big wave that Oprah wanted because she's a bottom feeding bitch.
Come on.
All of this stuff that she planned to do has failed. They had to film Rustin with the white dude about to like take out the booty of the same character that played Mr. and the cover Slurple. And he has an idea, and that's where the March of Washington, when he's getting poked in the ass, that's when he thinks about 100,000 people coming to Washington to fight for Black freedom. They keep all of these things, little Nas X, all this stuff is just piling up, Diddy and so forth. It's all about getting rid of us. And at the same time that you have the color purple, they're filling this country up full of people bringing babies across the border and so forth. It's to get rid of us. I can stop here. I just want to say I'm very happy because I've been waiting all day, people, for Warner Brothers through Box Office Mojo to say how much money did they take in Wednesday? Because the first day they took in $18,150,000. On Tuesday of this week, they took in $1,465,000.
Come on.
It's a major. That's a hell of a steep drop from 18 million to 1 million. It's a steep drop. It's a steep drop from making $5,500 a screen to $460 a screen. The color Slurple isn't going to last into February at the rate it's going. And I want to remind everybody, and this is Sweet Thursday, they released a new film today, and they're releasing as many as 7 tomorrow, some in wide release and some in limited release. The screens are owned by the GCP. If Oprah Winfrey's film can't pull $1,200, $1,500 a screen, and somebody else's film can, in the business in which they have they project somehow last year, to their own surprise, largely thanks to Oppenheimer and Barbie. That silly bitch, she pulled the money in. In fact, Barbie made more money in 5 hours on its first day of release than The Color Purple has made in 9 days. 5 hours, actually 4. In 4 hours, they made more money than these people have made in 9 days. And it's an embarrassment. It's so embarrassing to these people. And understand something. Warner Brothers, these racist GCPs, made a commitment within the last 2 years to treat Black people better because of their racist history. And they come out with this and they use Oprah to stick us in our eye. And it's failing because Warner Brothers was established back in 1923. So this is their 101st year, and I thank God that The Color Purple's going to fail. They're going to lose, but Warner Brothers digging in their heels, everybody knew, were it not for Barbie and Oppenheimer, that's $2 billion of the $9 billion that came into the theaters, 2 films. These people were surprised to get $9 billion. Barbie was a surprise. They expect this year for revenues to drop to $8 billion or even less than that. Because they're worried about their money, they're not going to allow this bullshit to stay in the theaters. And I want to applaud all of you that did not go to see The Color Purple the second time. The only way I will see it is if I get a DVD from some young druggie in the street selling it. That's how I saw Selma. Because I wasn't trying to see that. They had that green card actor play Dr. King. I can talk like Dr. King better than he can. I know a lot of people that do better King than this dude. And I also, yes, I want to thank Taraji Henson for embarrassing Oprah. I want to thank the people who fought for the Epstein list, which also Oprah, she went to that little nasty island too. It's trash. It's trash. So they've lost money. They're losing money. Oprah lied to them. She told them that she could get the. Let me tell you, you might see Oprah Winfrey as they're taking down Diddy and take Dick's Jakes. Oprah Winfrey with this big bomb. I think I sent you the story, Chef. Because the GCPs put money on Oprah, the media has been acting like they respect this film. Plus, they paid a whole lot of money, maybe $30-40 million worth of advertising. These people need to bring in $250 million to make this Color Slurple bankable. And damn it, they're not going to get it. Thanks to you. Thanks to all of us who are tired of bullshit. I'm very glad. They're lying. They're hiding the numbers from Wednesday. I think they're afraid that The Color Purple did not make $1 million yesterday. That people who make their decisions for how they're going to allocate their screens, sometimes they do it on Wednesday or Thursday. That those people are not going to be able to put that film up because people are not going to carry it because they're in the business to make money. They'll open up more theaters in their multiplex and they'll remove The Color Purple. I hope that happens. And it will be a very one small step for mankind and one big step to all of our patriarchs. All of you brothers that missed out on the sexual meal for refusing to go to The Color Purple with your lady. I mean, I know that took great courage. I know that so many of our black men have a pussy shortage psychology. They believe the world will run out of pussy if a woman gets mad, so they just try to keep them happy.
Hey, brother Short, hold on real quick.
Hold on. Let me say this now. Stop. My line is, and proof of this pussy shortage thing is the happy wife, happy life. That's what weak ass niggas say. And it should be happy man and lady. Thank God for the baby. Okay, brother, I'm done.
That's a fact. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank y'all for tapping in with us here. Make sure you are liking, sharing, subscribing, and subscribe. Like, share, subscribe.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Right. Hit that notification bell as well, y'all. Anytime we go live.
And hit the donation bell. Like, share, and subscribe. This is the Angry Black Men's Book Club on YouTube. I am your irreverent, truth-telling host, Dr. Randy Short, with my cohort, the Chef C, who has On Their Next YouTube channel. On Their Next YouTube channel. If you want me to put this shit up on the screen, I will, because I notice how people don't pay attention. I wonder how black people drive cars and shit, right? They don't pay attention to the sign. That's why they're always having problems with racist-ass cops. You ran a red light. You ran a stop sign. I wasn't paying attention. Like, that's an excuse. You should say, I'm sorry, officer, before he pulls out a taser. His YouTube channel is On Their Next.
Podcast.
Yes, podcast. But also you have what you have On the Net YouTube channel as well. So you have a
Yeah, it's on their
podcast?
next podcast YouTube channel. That's what
Okay.
it's called. And
Okay.
ladies and gentlemen, also we got From the Soil TV. Make sure you go over there and check that out as well. My other
You have a
platform.
whole bunch of films all over the country, real grassroots film, not like the shit that Oprah does. I mean, y'all think Oprah is great because we don't have a lot. I remember when Spike Lee came out, we didn't. There'd been a long time since anyone black had really made a wave in films, and it was so cool. And all of a sudden, there were different people, the Hudlin brothers, Matty Rich, so forth, right? Robert Townsend, right? All these people came out.
Mario
Oprah,
Van Peebles too. He had a little run.
yeah, well, he
Mario
was
Van
he was before them. There was a break between Mario Van Peebles, who had stuff in the '60s and '70s,
Right.
and Spike Lee came along after what was so-called black exploitation film era. Oprah Winfrey shows up at the same time Spike Lee does, '85, and whether you like Spike Lee or not, um, some of his stuff is quite useful. I can't say that for Oprah. In fact, if I could take all of Oprah's bad stuff and make it into a sex toy and it could keep her happy, I'd do it. But I'm just a mortal. So the best I could do is get her to shut the hell up. But I want you guys to like this, share this. And yes, we're communicating in an anti feminist way. That's what Pat Talk does. Pat Talk is where men speak and women listen, although we do and we will have women guests. The biggest problem, and I even know women who have their own shows, is a lot of black women they chat, complain, whine, but when you try to get them, okay, let's do something, they got a million things to do. So, if you know any real Wasi warrior sisters, black women that are not psycho nuts, put us in touch with them because we do want to have a panel of black women that get it because there are black women that are not as dumb as hell as Gail and Oprah. The problem is that they haven't been showcased. And so I've made that request of all the good enlightened sisters, like I did a thing with Sister Eve and this Sister Iowa. There are a lot of Sister Miriam is who we need to get, Chef C. Do you know Miriam? I'm gonna put you in touch with her because we can have her on. There are black women that care about women, care about children, but they get along with black men and they know the game. We have to be different from what the white supremacists do. The white supremacists highlight dysfunctional, pathological black people that are disgrace. Okay, we have to highlight those black people that represent our best. The Ruby Days and Ossie Davises, the Malcolm X's, the Nat Turners, the Madam C.J. Walkers, the Ida B. Wells. We have to showcase these people. We have to, part of our maturity is for us to uplift and develop and push forward. It's like Brother Roland is around here. I don't know if you can bring him in, Chef C, but we we're not opposed to. In fact, I definitely want other people's voices uh, engaged in this because uh, I don't we're against as a patriarch we're what I call verpats, virtuous patriarchs. We're not for women getting messed over, right? We're not brother fuckers. I don't need to be I don't think I can fertilize all the women in the world, and I don't need to have solidarity with other men. So I'm happy if Chef C is a strong, smart, intelligent person. Oh, look at someone that says, "Oh no, I didn't know this was just for men." No, this isn't just for men. This is just against feminism. Real women that aren't feminists, of course, you're welcome. If you're a feminist and you're dumb enough to listen to this and get told off the way that you need to be, you're welcome too. And we won't change. In fact, we'll double down on being patriarchs just to show you your nightmare 50 years of this garbage, this Margaret Sanger, Betty Friedan, Gloria Steinem shit that y'all been running through our neighborhood. We as men are going to put an end to it. And we also don't like male fagonists. These are male feminists who are punks. who think that they're cool repeating racist white women's talking points. We don't respect their asses. I had some Caribbean coon say a man that doesn't like feminism has a problem with his masculinity.
That's crazy.
And I just blocked his ass because I know how Caribbean men beat the shit out of their women. I mean, I'm telling you, George Clooney's ass. Gary Clooney, the white boxer used to get his ass beat by Muhammad Ali. That shit is like child's play with what goes on in Caribbean families. So I never want anybody from any place in the third or developing world to say a damn thing, because Black American men, for the most part, other than for stud ass Oprah Winfrey, Black American men are seen as very domesticated. And if you don't know that, for all the Black women that don't know anything, just go somewhere and travel with the Black American man and see how fast the women try to take him from you. I've traveled all over the world. I mean, I always like traveling. I get treated 1 trillion times better overseas. I remember going to Brazil, and on my way back, just how wonderful everything was in Brazil. And as soon as I got back to America, all the encounters with women were hostile. The women yelling and screaming. You didn't even say anything to them. I was thinking, wow, I didn't deal with this. I was in Brazil for a month. It was great. And I'm not talking about running after folks in thongs, just the way that men and women interact with each other. The American women are so psycho. And no one has told them this, either because the folks are afraid they're not going to get sex, or the women are going to argue and deny. But what feminism has done to the women here is so terrible. It's unforgivable. If you love women, that's what made them mad. My quote is, if you love women, you hate feminism. And I hate feminism because I love women. And if you love men and you're a woman, you hate feminism too. And if you love the unborn and you love children, you hate feminism. Feminism and human society can't coexist. Either we're going to have a dysfunctional, dying culture that panders to stupid, confused, psychotic lesbians, or we're going to have a society where caring, protective, patriarchal men work hand in hand with women to create new generations. You can only have one or the other. And the outcome of this struggle depends on you and the audience. What are you going to do? Are you going to be duped by Oprah and Gail?
Right.
Are you was silly ass Whoopi Goldberg, who's a liar, whose Black husband got her ass off drugs and she ran away from him? She acted like this man wasn't there. So Ted Danson called her nigger and all that other kind of stuff, blackface. You love Ted Danson, but the Black man that was with you when you were a junkie and cleaned you up, he's nobody. That's a sick ass person, Whoopi Goldberg. You can tell that bitch I said it. And she does look like, as she's gotten old, she looks like a slug with glasses. And I've had a lot of slugs in my garden. I know what a slug looks like.
Well, I tell you what, brother Dr. Short, we are looking at a situation now where what you see on the screen is the rendering of the conduct. You got this big, goofy, but fucking clown of a man.
Are you sure he's a man? Let's call him a male. A male. Charles Barkley, I will definitely say he's male. He's male. He's male.
Brother,
he's male.
This shit, the obsession. Actually, not even the obsession. It's the willingness from a lot of these Negroes to go in the dress. Like it is, and this man has the nerve to have, I believe he's married, if I'm correct.
A lot of people. T.D. Jakes is married, and
correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. T.D. Jakes is married. So
now we're dealing with a situation where the normalization of men in dress, particularly Black-looking men, dressed to the nines. They put a whole wig on this nigga, and it looks like earrings. Does he have loops? Am I seeing loops in those ears?
You know,
This
um,
this is the emasculation.
you know, I'm so disgusted by him. I almost want to talk about the other people. But I do want to can we can you do a drum roll? Let me get out my Pentecostal holiness. Praise all of you guys for boycotting the color SLURPLE. I feel like treating them to a song, man.
Listen, brother Dr. Short, I know you got the hit record you've been working on for a little while.
No, we have all kinds of parody songs for that.
You got the hit record that you gave me a preview of earlier
Many
today.
of them.
Listen, sir, I don't see a better time for you to preview that track.
Okay.
Other than now, I think you should do it.
Okay, y'all. Well, since we're talking about Oprah, I changed the song we're gonna do, and since I don't have the music, I'll just do it a cappella, and I'm not trying to sing it to be perfect. Although I think I can sing okay. I'm not like Melba Moore and one of these, but I have some professional singer friends, but I made this song and I dedicated it to Oprah Winfrey. So are you guys ready? Say yes. Okay. And you know what? I'm gonna intro it.
Get bashful now, brother Short. Go ahead and let it flow.
Hoeing, hating on niggas. Hoeing, hating on niggas. Got a new ass and some titties. Hating black men every night and day. And I kept losing sleep, hoping black revolution ain't happening. Boulets back keep turning. Oprah black men is burning. And they're hoeing, hating on niggas, hoeing, hating on niggas, right? I cooned a lot of friends in Memphis, ignored drowning people down in New Orleans. Never cared about broke niggas in the city as long as I become a rich bitch talk show queen. Boulets backs are turning. Oprah black men is burning. And she's hoeing, hating on niggas, and she's hoeing, hating on niggas. Okay, now listen to this. If you like me, you hate niggas, right? If you hate me, you hate niggas. You wonder why the Klan and the Nazis let them live. We bougie Negroes ain't gonna give them no money. If black folk are hungry, the gov's got snap to give. Boulets back keep turning. Oprah black men is burning. And she's hoeing, hating on niggas. And she's hoeing, hating on us niggas, Now, if I had a choir, I could do multiple parts. Got a new ass and some titties. Can you imagine if you did it fast? Can you imagine you do it fast? Got a new ass and some titties. Right, get a beat on there. Okay. And people think I didn't grow up in the church. Yes, I cuss. At least I'm telling the truth. A lot of folks sit up and say God and Jesus every other word. The niggas are lying. So I decided to be different. Now, we need to talk about Fraudia Gay. It's
Hold
very
on, hold on, hold on,
important.
hold on. Did y'all give this nigga a round of applause?
Did y'all like that?
A round of applause. Shout out to there you go, BB with the round of applause. God damn it, there you go. There. Shout out to BB giving him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all heard it first. The exclusive release.
Oh,
Dr. Randy Short.
right. And okay, so yes. So there we go again, and we could just do it again. Hoeing, hating on niggas. Hoeing, yeah, hoeing, yeah. See, I wish I had somebody, we could get down like we did in church, right? Anyway, as a Harvard graduate, Harvard class of 1991, there's no need to cry over Fraudia Gay. The first time I looked at that broad, who looks like Urkel, I told everybody that bitch isn't gonna last. I hope she's got a year.
Come on.
And I said, I bet you she's a Caribbean. She's not a Black American. So you know what? They get a foreigner, first generation Caribbean. She's a feminist. She's Black. She looks like a Black man, and then she could be a woman at the same time, because you can't tell when you're looking at the bitch whether she's got a dick or she wants a dick. And there's a guy by the name of Dr. Sullivan, Ronald Sullivan, Harvard Law class, I believe, of 1992, who I used to hang with like 30 some odd years ago, who was one of the first Black deans of any of the residence houses at Harvard. This Caribbean bitch with the white husband, the one that looks like Urkel, fired him and his wife. She's plagiarized, she's stolen, like a lot of these backstabbing people from other countries that climb on Black Americans' backs and destroy us, like Ofaga, like Kamala or Slumala or Hormala or whatever you want to call the bitch, okay? In fact, I came with a joke today. Kamala Harris is so stupid, she thought Harvey Weinstein was a bootlegger. That's how dumb that hoe is. These people use and then abuse us in service of folks who hate us. And so don't get caught up and doing stupid. Oh my God, he looks prettier than she does. She really looks like Urkel in that picture you put up. Please take it down. It's offending me. I'll put my tambourine up. Okay, thank you. Oh, you made it bigger. Man. Yeah. I hope your food. Now that's the struggle plate right there. Looking at the two of them, I bet you she mounts him. She probably. Y'all saw which way it's up when Annie Mae got a little on Richard Pryor's back and put a dildo in him because he wasn't trying to sleep with her. So this macho woman. Let me just say to you, the people in Harvard put that woman there to dog Black people, to avoid Harvard getting attacked because Harvard was a fucking plantation with slavery. Harvard hasn't done anything about reparations in comparison to some of the other schools like Brown. And she's there to deflect. And thank God she's gone. And she's stupid. Look, when I went to Harvard, over half of the faculty was GCPs. You couldn't possibly dream of being president of Harvard University. And people talking about, even if they're just speaking hypothetically, about killing people who are in the same group as at least maybe 60% of your faculty. If y'all don't know anything about who has power in the university, faculty senate, this faculty can get rid of presidents, board members. This is a stupid bitch who has not much emotional intelligence. That's part of what got, not only did you plagiarize, you didn't have common sense, ho. You should have known that. You can't, look, all these Jewish billionaires given to Harvard and a disproportionate number of Harvard undergraduates And what I mean by that is if Harvard was established by WASP, if maybe 20% of the students are not WASP and they're in a different group, that's a hell of a number. How do you think that you could disrespect people? I'm not saying I agree with what's happening in Gaza or I want to take people's freedom of speech, but damn, Fraudia. In fact, that's proof that she didn't know that she didn't think she's black, is that you have folks talk about killing Jews at your school. And you don't think it's and you're black. You haven't seen, and see, she's not a black American. Look, when I went to Harvard, I had a friend that I made over the phone talking to him. We came tight. His name is Tony Martin. He's a Caribbean scholar who is an expert on a range of things, a historian, who is teaching at Wellesley University. And he wrote this man basically just mentioned, had used Farrakhan's book. I mean, the whole world came after this man over him even looking at the damn book. He's a Caribbean, but he's black. These people from these other groups do not know this black experience. They have no concept because they spend all their time with their tongue in white people's asses. And that's probably more true for her than what you think I'm saying. They can't imagine that folks hate them because they're always smiling. Hi, how are you doing? Yes, I'm not a black American. They're so militant. They want rights and reparations. What's wrong with them, right? But when they're fighting for reparations for the Caribbean islands and the British told them to fuck off, that's okay. When we want it, they're up here like this bitch struggling against us getting our motherfucking money. So there's no tears in my eyes for Fraudia. And that thing called what? Diversity, inclusion, and see, I always put the inclusion first. And when you do the diversity, inclusion, and equity, you get the word die. And that shit's what's going to happen to pork chop feminists, all the unvetted bitches. A lot of y'all have gotten jobs and shit. You know, when I'm a black man, I go in, people go through they look for every reason to tell me no. And they still may tell me no once they haven't found anything against me. I did a job interview, and this white woman couldn't believe I had a criminal record. I wasn't on drugs. She says, you're unusual. Well, we're still not going to hire you. In other words, you're supposed to be like everyone else. And they just hand stuff to a lot of sisters. They get stuff. And proof of that is when these sisters get these positions and they're dealing with, like, there's one white woman who's not a feminist who hates black people, honestly, which is, I guess, people's right. Just keep your damn hands off me. The black women, they're professional types. They complain about how their colleagues, my colleagues don't understand how much I give of myself to my, bitch, you're black. Dumbass bitch, you're a nigger to them. Oh, don't you? You're living in the 60s. We've moved past that. I said, we're not living in the 60s, but women still use dildos. They used dildos in the 60s too. Probably a lot less, and they were happier than your asses were. And so this woman is getting clowned. And yeah, she's getting $900,000. And that's really the $900,000 that they're giving her as a salary, Marcia, until they get rid of her ass. That's letting her keep the salary that she had as president of Harvard, and that's for the prestige of the school. Because if they fired her, and she could probably sue their asses in liberal Massachusetts and get some money, because a lot of people don't like Harvard, okay? A lot of people don't like these elite schools. The universities are basically parasites. Columbia steals all the land in Harlem. All these universities steal from the local people. University towns are broke. They do all kinds of stuff. They don't care about the local people typically. And it's not different for Harvard. So if she were to sue, and she looks like a man and shit, she could say it was some sexuality shit. that people don't like the way she looks and her hair is too short. And I mean, I'm discriminating against her. I believe it too. Yeah.
Hey, brother Short, real quick, before you go a little further, at this stage of the game, who do you think have a stronger case? These feminist pork chops, or an actual Karen when it comes to potential attacks on them? Who do you think has a stronger case now, given the climate of everything?
Well, no, black women are under attack. It's gonna expand. I mean, them getting rid of her. You have to understand the people who created all of these diversions around inclusion and diversity and all this other kind of stuff are in the GCP liberal camp, and they don't need black women anymore. Black women have fulfilled their purpose of tearing down black men and aborting 20 some odd million black babies and preventing us from having 100 million people. Basically, black women, in terms of being on white supremacy's team, can hang up the jersey. It doesn't have a number on it, it has the letter B. You figure out what that means. Y'all can hang that B jersey up. In fact, it should be BB. And you know what both B's mean. That jersey, nobody can ever do as much damage to our survival as a people as our black feminists have done to us. And therefore, they don't need you anymore. And they don't. And they are replacing black women with Latinas and Asians, and this will increase. And by the way, they're using stupid, dumb fuck black Greek letter women. And they've already got, I mean, basically, instead of a penis in your mouth, you have women of color in your mouth. You dumbasses. You're talking yourself out of everything because everything will be a woman of color. It's just a matter of time before all the actresses are foreigners and or not black American women. And this will have been done to black women by their own stupid, stud ass Greek letter societies and other types of moronic black women. Literally have cut their own throats. And so they're not useful anymore. They're irrelevant. The only way for black women to get back into the game is to hook up with black men.
Come on, talk about it. Come
Okay, as long as black women think that they're in a separate race, they're going to continue to be losers. And in fact, as black women are being evicted all over the country, has occurred at the same time that you have more and more black women millionaires, more and more black women in elected office, has directly been proportional to black women being dispossessed. I'm not saying that successful black women cause the suffering of working class and poor black women, but those successful black women think of being women first and black last.
Oh, come on.
They're basically tethers with vaginas instead of sisters in arms in the struggle with their brothers to fight for reparations and fight against racism. So the only game left for black women while there's time is to band with black men that might be willing to take them back. It's interesting. Let me tell you, this is so funny. This movie that I'm talking about that we have to make is very different from the whole capitalist program going back to radio soaps. Most women don't understand. So let me help you, ladies. Almost all of your television themes are based around the manipulation of women, playing women against men in order to get women to spend money. That's the origin of selling soap and all, is to make stories where the woman is good, the man is bad, the woman is the hero, the woman is always the good, perfect person that's long suffering, the no good man, whether it's the honeymooners, whether it is the Flintstones, whatever it is, it's the woman is great and the man is, and without the woman, he's nothing. This goes even worse in our community where the men have been undermined and castrated economically.
Come on, come
So
on.
this thing ends up playing in black women's hits on their movie. They don't need a man. And even in the creation, in fact, let me explain further what I mean. All of your early radio broadcasts were funded by companies that were selling products to women. Part of what happened in the 1920s, 100 years ago, was to get women to spend money that their husbands didn't want them to spend. Part of getting the women to act against their husbands and disobey them and do stuff and splurge is to satisfy and blow smoke up women's asses with various themes in entertainment. Initially, it was in radio, and then it came into television. And that's why you'll always see the shows where mom is cool and dad is the asshole. And I know plenty of families where mom is basically a Mad Max and the father's the diplomat in the family. You don't see that because that doesn't get women to spend money or rebel against men to spend money. So that our whole media culture is around playing women against men, getting women to be reckless with money, getting women to be anti uh, male presence or authority. It's gotten to an extreme now. So almost all of you have tens of thousands of hours of television, radio, of things that you're important and the man isn't shit. So you guys are heavily conditioned. I don't know if you guys can make the transition. I hope so. But if you haven't, um, put the picture up. St. Kevin Samuels sent us. Oh, let me take a moment again. He sent us the great truth, the revelatory passport that we can still have black families, even if we have to engage in outsourcing familial labor to persons that are interested in wiffery. And so those who are insubordinate, difficult to live with, easily propagandized, disloyal, traitor types, backstabber types, can't be pleased, want to have a girlfriend on the side or have a boyfriend or feel entitled that someone's supposed to janitor up all the bastards that you had with other people. This kind of stuff that's commonplace in the black community, that shit's gone. It's gone. And whoever said your pussy is the center of the universe, it's only true between the ages of 15 and 35. And I'm being generous. Let's say really cut off at 30. It ceases to be the center of the universe after 29. So for a very short window, it is all about you, but after that, it's not. And this new group of illegals that they brought in millions and millions and millions of people from hardcore, repressive patriarchal backgrounds. If they do chain migration, which they haven't gotten rid of, you're going to be competing with women who don't mind cooking, don't mind staying home, all of this. I mean, literally, they're redoing the whole culture. In fact, and they duped, and there's another way that they got, they really jacked women up. And I wish this wasn't happening. They got a lot of women to sterilize themselves when, they took that medication. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And folks were miscarrying and they've got all this spike protein inside of them and so forth. And some of you may have sterilized yourselves, whatever. A whole lot of folks, I'm telling you, I would never get with anyone who took that medication under any circumstances. If you got deceived and Big Pharma could get you to do that to yourself, you and I can't be together. I don't give a damn who you are. You should have read a check. That's your body. But if you got with me, it's our body. My sperm is yours and your eggs are mine. You should be guarding that shit. To let somebody play you like that is too late. So, and by the way, if you go and you look, disability for women has jumped over 55%. since they introduced that medication. So they've gotten rid of you. A lot of ladies, folks who just went with their emotions. I know people that were forced by their significant other when they were looking at the reports and they gave in. You had a fagonist or you had a simplified dude who just didn't want to fight. It's interesting that TV always shows us the man that's a contentious one that can't be placated when we know there are a whole bunch of difficult ass women out here. A lots, especially if you've worked with them. And they're always right. And the rules always change for them. There's a set rules for you as a man, and a woman's rules are whatever she thinks of at the moment. They literally waged chemical warfare on the American feminist. And I don't know how that's undone. I don't know how that's undone. But I do know that the men that are tired of this, who've been on the receiving end of the cruelty of the anti-male agenda that's been in place for 50 years, the younger folks have checked out. And the people, I'm an X generation. There's no way I would put up with this. So the epoch of feminism is over. You guys are finished. You're done. So unless you get with men or find a man that can somehow work with you, work past your conditioning to not get along with him, to not respect him, to do whatever you want and pit the kids against him. If y'all know who I'm talking to. If I'm talking to your ass out there, I'm telling your ass something. If you can't work through that, you're going to join that demographic of women that are going to die alone. And Kevin Samuels wasn't joking. There's 1 million of these black women above the age of 55, if not more, that have no children, no husband, practically no living relatives. They did it their way. A woman phenomenally, in the words of Maya Angelou. You'll never hear any man that's straight say he doesn't need a woman. All these women that have been preaching that they don't need a man, a woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle. Actually, a man needs a feminist like a fish needs a bicycle. So I'm going to stop there because I have Bible study I got to break for. But it's over, Chef C. And the removal of FRAUDINE gay is a signal. From here on out, they will be watching.
Well, hold it, brother Short. Brother Short. Don't move muscle there, sir. You know how I like to do it now. Listen. Let's bring some context. Sir. I found this article from Fox. Okay. And some of the strange pork chop are a little up in roar about this whole thing. And
they're always in the uproar.
You know,
they're in the uproar if you want sex once a year and you're married to them. I mean, damn them. I don't care. I almost, you know what? This is, the country is on a pendulum and it is swinging to the right against the feminists and the other anti-life agenda. It's already good. There's nothing that can be done about it. And the people are going to be, folks, I'm thinking about, I was talking to you, Chef C, if you've ever gone to the movies with the feminists. And a lot of women have never had to deal with women, so they don't know what men deal with. Okay, so let me just give you an example. If you go to the movies with the feminists, it's crazy. Because
shout out to our, hold on really quickly. Shout out to our brother Lone Wolf Firearms, brother Juan in the chat. Shout out to our brother Juan.
Okay, hey, how you doing? White woman to you. Look, when you go to a movie with the feminists, the first thing she'll tell you is that You men make all the decisions, so I want to pick the movie. And contrary to the radical lesbian feminist lie, most guys, if the woman was really serious about seeing a particular movie, he just wants to be with his lady. Oh, okay, well, you pick the movie. Oh, I'm not going to go that fast, right? They've taught these women to be this stupid shit that these women are on. So you say, okay, well, what would you like to see? Don't rush me. And I don't think like men do. I need to think about. So man, yeah, I talked about the movie like a week ago. All of a sudden you're bad for wanting an idea. And you wait and you wait and you wait. And it's all a setup because what they teach these women to do in this stuff is to simply not get along with men, and that's that's the hip thing to be an asshole as a woman. Basically, a bitch is an asshole with a pussy, if I could give you a definition. No. So you wait for them to decide what movie it is, and and don't rush them because they'll get mad. And then they say, well, I can't make up my mind. And every movie that you recommend, she'll object to because she'll say, you're picking that because you're a male. So you try to think of something that would appeal to her, and you pick something that you could care less about, but it may make her happy. And you say, well, let's go to see, what is it? King Lear or something, or Romeo and Juliet. Okay, it's romance, so she'll like that. And she'll say, you don't really want to see that. You don't really want to see that. So it says, well, but I thought you would. But do you want to see it? Then all of a sudden it comes back to a decision. So it says, well, and you know what ends up happening? The lady picks the movie that is a male type movie that you probably didn't even want to see, right? And then she goes to see the movie and tells him, I didn't want to see that movie, but I knew you didn't want to see the movie I wanted to see. The moral of the story is it was nothing that he could do right because he was a male. This is what many of us men have dealt with. I've dealt with it my entire life. I'm done with it. That's why I hate feminism. If I even have it happen to me one time and I can tell someone's a feminist, I never talk to them again. It's that I never get away from me forever. I don't care what it is. And I think there are more men that are there. And I'm not talking about putting their hands on anyone to just, and this is what the women have to understand. The men are voting with their feet against you. They're walking in another direction. And I want to let you know, ladies, travel, ladies. They don't want Americans. They don't want you. Nobody can put up with this. It's insane. Nobody wants it. They'll screw it, they'll smash it, and they'll pass it. There has to be a major moral, ethical change. And the lie about women being more religious, proof that that's not true is TD Jakes. And you look at these crooked preachers that are degenerates, that are predators, that are pedophiles. It's one scandal after the other. Who funds these degenerate people? That includes the Catholic Church. It's females. Women are not more spiritual, moral than men. In fact, maybe less so. Because I don't know any men that really like TDJ. I don't know any men that like Tyler Perry. None. It's women that like these people. And what is it that women are fascinated by? Feminized, strange men in America. Why do the women need the men to have a high-pitched voice to sing to them? Why does a man have to sound like a woman to appeal to you? In other cultures, a man who has a baritone voice like I have, that's who your big singers are baritones. In America, you better be a damn tenor, and a first tenor at that. You should be able to sing in a range higher than Anita Baker and Macy Gray, or you can't really sing. Even gospel music is oriented towards feminized men, not towards men with a real voice, or I should say a baritone or a lower tenor, second tenor, because there's a hatred and an animosity towards those things that are male. Just work around women. If you have any bass in your voice, it just go crazy. Any bass in your voice antagonizes them. Come on, that's happened to you, Chef. Get that bass out you. My voice is supposed to be fucking bass. I'm a man, dummy. I don't tell you get the soprano out of your voice. I don't tell you get the alto out of your voice. Why does my voice have to change to speak to you? These kinds of things that are normative that you'll never hear this shit on television. Why? Um, yeah, Beyonce's not a singer. Beyonce is a dancer. Beyonce is an entertainer. Whitney Houston is a singer. We need to know the difference between people that entertain and then what you really call singing. I don't know if anybody that runs around that just Beyonce's not a singer. She can sing, but she's not a singer. She's not Jennifer Hudson. She's not Melba Moore. That we have a bunch of black men sing their asses off who don't get the hits that Beyonce does. Beyonce is an entertainer. She can dance. And she's part of that corrupt cabal of Gay-Z, that strange situation. So, don't bring her into it. But I'll say this of Beyonce. She carries herself like she's feminine. So I rarely criticize Beyonce, although I call her Demonce because she's into the occult. Now, I'm going to have to leave you guys. But ladies, Pat Talk isn't trying to hurt you. Pat Talk is trying to tell you what men think that they don't say. Because in reality, for all of this strength, and I am woman, I am beautiful, I'm powerful, y'all don't like the truth that much. And so, with all the changes that men have had to make, from changing diapers to cooking to confining their feminine side, it's interesting that in many ways women have changed in terms of responsibilities, accountability, and so forth. That shit is still like it was back in the old days, right? Men have had to change a whole bunch of things to accommodate the feminism, and women have not had to change. And that's why there's another problem. And this is why, we were sent a prophet, a holy man, Kevin Samuels, to deliver us. And this is why we can't forget him. Peace be upon him. And we do want people to come together. But one of the things that I would urge all you women to do is to get used to hearing the truth and stuff that you don't want to hear. For example, there's something about feminism and this woman's movement that fucks things up. I'll give you an example. If a man is overweight and he goes into the military, they're not going to make different size uniforms for him. They're going to bust his ass until he loses some weight. With them putting women in the military, they're trying to adjust stuff that's bullshit. With this stupid stuff, the people who have the gender dysphoria, where you now have the Kotex and the men's restrooms in Canada and all of that, how did the men get into women's sports? Women not wanting to follow any of the rules created the legislative and legal grounds for the degenerate men to be in the women's sports and women's restroom and all this other stuff. And the majority of the people who can't figure out which sex they want to be are female from female-headed households. It's almost exclusively a female thing. It's time for reality to be something. Because I'll tell you, what do some of the men like about women from other countries? It's not necessarily that American women aren't attractive. We're not saying that. There are a lot of women from other countries that are realists. You can really talk to them. I know American women that think that if if they have a job, they don't have to cook or clean the house. They actually think because they have a job, what has been traditionally expected of women in a relationship with a man, all of that's gone. And in reality, what the women have said to men is that basically they no longer are wives, they are roommates or they're persons that share space. And I can give you a comparison to that. Back in the day when we would talk about how terrible life was in the former Soviet Union, one of the things that people would joke about is when a Russian man wanted to get with a Russian woman, he didn't say, I love you. He said, let's get an apartment. Basically, let's be roommates because the economics was so bad. And that it wasn't so much about love. You just, you need to be somewhere other than a crowded space with your family. They had feminism in Russia. It just messed everything up. And in fact, the Russian population is low now because many Russian women in certain demographic groups had as many as 17 abortions. Abortion was a form of birth control in the former Soviet Union and Eastern Bloc countries. You ladies need to start doing some comparative cultural analysis. Count your blessings.
Hold on, brother Short. Hold on. I gotta share something before you get up out of here. I need you to let's get a quick take on this. Ladies and gentlemen, Fox 5 reports. All right, getting this raggedy Urkel about out of Harvard. So let's see what they got to say about this whole thing. Hold it. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. And we are. Claudine Gay's resignation as the president of Harvard University.
Yay.
The departure comes amid several plagiarism accusations and criticism over her December congressional testimony, where she was unable to say unequivocally that calls on campus for... Real quick, fair use by the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances are made for fair use for learning purposes, educational purposes, fair use. Like, share, subscribe, like, share, subscribe, like, share, subscribe, y'all. Mm-hmm. Thank you. The genocide of Jews would violate Harvard's conduct policy. Gay is the second Ivy League president to resign following the congressional testimony, along with former UPenn president Liz McGill. Correspondent Molly Line has that story from our Boston bureau tonight. Good evening, Molly.
Good evening, Brett. Harvard President Claudine Gay making it official, announcing her resignation with a heavy heart in an email to the university community, writing, amidst all of this, it has been distressing to have doubt cast on my commitments to confronting hate and to upholding scholarly rigor to bedrock values that are fundamental to who I am, and frightening to be subjected to personal attacks and threats fueled by racial animus. Gay first faced backlash for her response to a statement from a collaboration of student groups blaming Israel for the October 7th Hamas terror attacks. Pro-Palestinian protests rocked campus, and in December, she and other university leaders, when testifying before Congress, failed to say clearly that calling for the genocide of Jews violated university policies.
It depends on the context.
It does not depend on the context. The answer is yes, and this is why you should resign.
Hey, brother Short, feminist on feminist crime.
I like it. Stud on stud.
Yeah, I love it.
Save the syllable, stud on stud crime.
I love it when the cannibalism happens. And they start eating each other. Pause. Where my brother Juan at? Pause. This is the kind of stuff we need. But let's keep on playing that track, y'all. Let's play the rest of this. Pork chop down. Pork chop in distress.
Pork chop down all the way.
Gay apologized, but soon faced expanding allegations of plagiarism. Harvard's corporation, the school's governing body, stood by President Gay while noting she would be making corrections to prior work. Today, the corporation praised her for remarkable resilience in the face of racist vitriol. Supporters, like the Reverend Al Sharpton, writing, "This is an attack on every Black woman in this country who's put a crack in the glass ceiling. It is an assault on the health, strength, and future of diversity
You know it's some bullshit when they pull.
Yeah, when they pull him out. What about the woman that got shot to death outside the Senate building, whose sister was in one of his security providers? What about Tawana Brawley? What about the attorney raped in his office, gang raped in his office on his birthday in 2013? Fuck him. What about him helping to set up Asada Shakur? I don't want to hear anything he has to say.
Talk that talk. Shit. Let's keep playing the rest of this goddamn.
Equity and inclusion. Though Gay stepped down, a congressional investigation continues.
We will uncover what will be the greatest scandal in higher education because the Harvard Corporation members themselves are complicit in this cover-up of her plagiarism and, again, most importantly, their failure to protect Jewish students on campus.
On her head! On her motherfucking head! Get out of the way. Let me play the rest of this. I can't celebrate too good. Hold on.
Gay says she will remain a member of the Harvard faculty. Harvard Provost and Chief Academic Officer Alan Garber will be the interim president. Brett?
It's a law.
Now, I want to just tell you something, because this has gone on for a while, and nobody talks about it. There was a woman by the name of Jacqueline Cook. Jacqueline Cook wrote for the Washington Post just about 40-some-odd years ago. She put out a story called Jimmy's World, talking about like a heroin junkie under the age of 10. And she wrote all this crazy stuff about the black community because she knew how to please white folks. It turned out she's a complete fraud. And when the folk came for her being a fraud, and this is, I'm going to just tell you, oh, she's a black woman. They began, but the bitch lied. You did all this crooked stuff. Why are you entitled to protection and a pass? Because you're female. You're a liar. You deceived. You cheated. You hurt other people. Jacqueline Cook, Washington Post, Jimmy's World. Look it up. And it's an example of this very ambitious, cunning, tricky, crooked. There was a black dude named Jason who was with, I think, the New Republic. Or what. You get these people, they're male sometimes, and sometimes they're female. There's one who's helped steal a considerable amount of resources through me, who's faking. Maybe in this year, God help me, I get to expose her. But I know someone right now faking, and they're a big, prominent black woman, didn't go to college, and they're lying, and everyone sees her as smart, black, and no one checks because she's female. I hate that because I'm a fair person. Everybody has to be vetted. And I like this thing that's happened to Fraudia Gay, because folks are going to look more carefully at sisters like they look at brothers. In fact, black men and black women were together when we were forced to sit on the back of the bus together. They got some of y'all sitting up front and we in the back, and y'all forgetting that we're on the same team. White America, as it moves to the right, is going to put us all on the back of the bus together. We'll be one big, unhappy, black, dysfunctional family, but we'll be together. I can't wait. Trump 2024. Bring on the rednecks, because the liberals are more effective at killing us than the conservatives are. Bring them on. They can't do anything to us that we don't let them do. Same thing for the liberals. The liberals smile at us.
Hold on, Brother Short. We got a little less than 10 minutes, and I gotta give you this Jeffrey Epstein small preview list here. Very, very small, but it's some prominent names on here, sir. And I think we got to touch on it just a touch.
Mhm.
So here we are. On the screen, you see, ladies and gentlemen, are a few names. Now, they have been sparingly releasing names at a time, and a
Well,
good amount of them
can
are
you
coming
say
John
the
Doe.
names? Hey, brother Shannon, white woman to you out in Michigan. I never see this cat. You know, it's hard to catch him on the phone. But
So,
anyway,
the top list of 5, what we have right now, ladies and gentlemen. Former President Bill Clinton.
and you sisters really voted for him.
Your
Y'all
former,
voted for that freak.
a lot of niggas voted because the nigga played the saxophone.
And not only that, that stupid ass Toni Morrison said that he was a black president. Yep, they got the black woman with fucked up
And niggas
hair.
believe
Just
that.
yeah, they did. And all the sororities and the boule got behind it. Keep going.
Number 2, we got Donald Trump. Interesting, ladies.
Okay, that's cool.
Listen,
They're after his ass for anything anyway. Next.
and he been grabbing coochies, so it is it is what it is. Next, number 3 on the list, Prince Andrew.
Yay!
Okay.
You know, I know Meghan Markle's going to make that testimony.
Okay, now for the closet drag queens, you got former Victoria's Secret CEO Lex Wessinger. Okay, and finally, ladies and gentlemen, on the list, billionaire Glenn Dubbin. Okay, billionaire. So, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, again, here's the truth. Listen, I gotta say this for me, brother Dr. Short, right? For me, what do we hope to gain by the release, finding out whose names are on this list? Right? For me personally, I'm not gonna gain a goddamn thing. I'm gonna tell you straight like
Who
that.
says that you won't? I actually think that we may get something in a different way. I believe that we will get, I hope, some focus in on this whole effort to attack the children and protecting the children from this minor attracted movement is critical to end this liberal assault on womanhood, the destruction of womanhood and manhood is important. We have nothing without womanhood. We have nothing without children coming up healthy and safe. And we have nothing if deviant men control everything and therefore force, like what happens in the rap music thing, demand that all men be hedonists, predators, or else they can't eat. Anything that exposes and mobilizes the public to hate it is a good thing.
So I guess the neutralization of that can only happen by the mass outrage of it, is what you're kind of saying, if I'm correct.
Right.
But here's the issue that I run into, sir. For years, and see, this is the thing that doesn't get spoken about, right? For years, parents have been giving their children away for either monetary gain, proximity access, or just saying that, you know what, my son knows a famous person or daughter knows a famous person. Aaliyah was a child, right? Actor Aaliyah, singer Aaliyah was a child. Even if I got to go on the clear side of things, Macaulay Culkin, the Mary-Kate and Ashley, the Olsen twins, these were children, right, that were given away. And, finding out who's on the list, ladies and gentlemen, what I know, listen, this is the fact. Let's make it plain. Here's what I want to make plain. Niggas said after the whole debauchery with Colin Kaepernick kneeling. A whole bunch of niggas said they're not watching football anymore until Colin Kaepernick gets a job back. Guess what? The fucking football ratings are almost back to normal again. A lot of niggas are sitting down watching football.
They look. Why would they stop watching football? Let's do this real fast, and I've got to go after this.
Absolutely.
There's a religion I hate in the black community. It's called pro sports. I wish I could be dictator of Black America for like a month. I would make it illegal for anybody to watch pro sports that wasn't able to read on the 12th grade level. Man, I would deal. I mean, right? I know how to do it because we have a whole bunch of people who live in the fantasy world of sports. They know more about the people playing college football than they know whether their kids are even earning the grades that they should have in school or whether their kids can read or write. Sports is a major distraction. The less we deal with it, the better. I hate all of it. I wish it were all. The one thing I loved about COVID was that Negroes could not escape because it's safe sports and dribbling balls. All of this diversion and dumbass black men, stupid, fucked up black men who put all that energy into sports, not into industry, not into business, not into family, not into productive stuff, living in this fantasy world of sports, which is bullshit. I love COVID. It didn't let you guys be dumb for 2 years. It was great. I almost wish we'd have another shutdown. Just do all the sports thing. Because there were Negroes that they couldn't watch the game. I mean, you're so busy in the game. What about life, coon? What about your neighborhood that's in ruins? What about the banks that don't lend to you? Where are your banks? I mean, all this stuff's going on. I know these people, man, I just want to see the game. The game. Have you ever heard these stupid ass people? He gave so much to the game. He hasn't given a damn thing to his people. Fuck the game. I don't like it. Unless we own the teams, I don't care. And crap on Dick is what I call him. I don't care. I don't like any of it. It's useless. What does sports do? And most cultures, sports is about developing cohesion, order, and paramilitary training for men in the group to protect their own people. Does sports do that for black people? Hell no. So it's bullshit what we have in sports. I'm not knocking exercise and all that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that your soccer teams, for example, in India and other places, their liberation movements came out of their sports clubs, oftentimes. Say what you want about white men. They have sports, but they're learning how to shoot and fish and hunt. Useful stuff. I'm not knocking football or basketball. My brother was one of those failed persons that could have made it to the pros that didn't. We see so many destroyed people who are fighting over less than 4,000 jobs in the economy, and we're 60 million people. Damn that stuff. And we're stupid, and black men are silly, immature punks for not noticing that the world's bigger. There's so many people. I saw this as a teacher. They didn't know how to read or write. They just figured that they would be great in football. It's short term. It doesn't last typically. And in reality, you'd probably do better playing sports overseas.
Most that's for sure.
I'm just so look. I got to do my Bible study. I'm through cussing. I want to talk about God, and that's one thing I'll say. Black folk, and for those that are not black, no, I don't mind us listening. We don't preach hate toward. We preach hate towards stupid ideas and stupidity. For the person who said they were redneck, well, we'll have to talk more. Because a whole bunch of rednecks. I mean, I have a family full of people that would be called rednecks, and they're like 30 and 40 and 50%, they look like they're white. There are tens of millions of people who think that they're white. They need to take a DNA test and find out who they really are. For the white person listening, white it doesn't really exist. People think it exists, sort of like they think feminism exists or gender exists when it's sex, male and female. People need God, and people need community, and people need cooperation. And each group, and in fact, I'm speaking to Black Americans, we need God and one another to be for our best selves, for self, not against anyone, but certainly not to take crap off of anyone inside or outside of our group that doesn't respect us. And God is important. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care about the little Luciferian black people who are basically brown white supremacists because they all don't want us to get anything out of America and they want us all to go back to Africa. That's our reparations when we want our MFM here. So let me let you go. Chef C, it's been wonderful. Angry Black book people, if I have some energy after Bible study, I'm going to start my book series. I am ready and I'm tempted. I just have to do more reading. I got all my books, y'all, on, family. In fact, Marcia Byram. Would you believe that Henry Hudson the Explorer is my uncle? Would you believe that Amelia Earhart is my cousin? And I can go on and on. It's called America, baby. And everybody's more than one thing. But we shouldn't be that way sexually or religiously. Believe in something and stick to it. Let me get out of here. Love everybody. I got to get out of here. Got to go before the folks start calling. I don't want
Brother
to.
Short, do your thing,
Yes,
sir. I
yes,
thank you
yes.
for another Pat Talk. I will holler at you sometime tomorrow, sir.
All right. You stay white there.
Bless.
All right.
That's Brother Short. What's happening now?
I'm leaving you guys. Definitely subscribe, listen, and I hope I'm back. Depends on how long we do Bible study. I may be trifling and just do an hour. It's very important for people to read and think. Guys, my mind is being messed with the stuff I'm learning. Everybody needs to learn more genealogy. If you did, you'd look at life very, very differently. I'm not saying I'm not Black American, but God, Princess Diana's my cousin. Huh. Okay. And what that means, guys, is wow. Uh, we're not just kings and queens from Africa. Some of us are kings and queens from Europe, too. Take it. Take the bloodline wherever it goes, use it. Don't be ashamed. Let me let y'all go. I gotta get. Y'all know how to support the Angry Black Men's Book Club. Share this, subscribe. Thank all my Patreon supporters. Thank all of you that drop stuff. You have no idea. Wouldn't be able to do it without your help or support. Love, love, love everybody. I'm gonna get out of here for now. Happy New Year. God bless everybody. Bye-bye.